Hearing nothing, I guess I'll start. I appreciate everybody coming here today. We're here today to announce charges. This stems from the incident that happened at Cesar Chavez Elementary School the week before last, I believe. We have filed 2 charges in this matter. We have charged Aubrey Wilson with 1 count of child abuse in the 4th degree. We have charged Chelsea Berkeley with 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. Child abuse in the 4th degree is a misdemeanor charge. It is a 1-year maximum penalty and $1,000. Felon in possession of a firearm is a 5-year maximum penalty felony. We can't get into the details too much, but just real briefly I can say that essentially what we have here is one individual brought the gun into the home, and the other individual was the one who put the gun in a place accessible to the child that brought it to Cesar Chavez Elementary. So I want to compliment the chief and the Grand Rapids Police Department. They've done an outstanding job in conducting this investigation. I think this demonstrates the seriousness of which we take these cases. When I say we, being, whether it be Grand Rapids Police and the prosecutor's office or be any law enforcement entity in Kent County, we are going to investigate and follow up in anything that we can do to make sure these guns are trying to kept out of the hands of kids and kept out of the schools. This could have been a very dangerous incident, and so I'm glad we can do something here to provide some closure, at least in this incident, and we'll continue to look at any other cases that come forward. Obviously, both these individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I don't have any information in terms of when their court hearings will be, any further court hearings, but we have to allow the court process to take its natural progression. And it'll be 2 different tracks, a misdemeanor track and a felony track, so that's going to be a little bit different. They won't be together when they go through this process. So I don't know, I'll turn it over to the chief to see if he wants to say anything.
Yeah, I do want to say I appreciate the hard work that Prosecutor Becker and his office have put into this, the seriousness that they take these things, and I look forward to delivering him the results of the investigation of the incident that happened May 10th, a week later from this incident, which happened May 3rd, for review for possible prosecution. I do want to thank GRPS, not only GRPS Security for the work that they did on this, but the culture that GRPS has created that allowed 2 young children to have the comfort to come forward to adults and alert those adults in the school system to this dangerous situation, averting what was a very alarming situation, averting what could have been a tragedy, especially in the second case. I also especially want to thank the detectives who, each one of these is a very difficult thing to put together. There's multiple interviews. There's forensic work to be done. There's research on the gun. This case actually still remains open because in investigating this case, we've determined that this firearm was also stolen. So we have expanded our investigation to dig into that further, and we're looking for potentially further charges on this. So great job by the detectives in this case, and a team effort all around in the city to provide safety for our children. So appreciate it. If you guys have any questions now for either me or the prosecutor.
Were they both cooperative with you in this investigation? Did they let you guys know, like, hey, I brought the gun in, and how were they to deal with it?
Yeah, can't get into too much in their statements, but they were cooperative. We can't say what they said or anything like that, but nobody put up any sort of difficulties in terms of the investigation.
What are the relationships of the defendants to the child?
One was a mother. The one was a live-in with fiance of the mom.
Are you Saskatchewan? Sorry, just for specification. Which one? What was the mother to which charge?
The mother is charged with the child abuse.
Are you satisfied with the charges in this case, given that we've got safe storage coming, or do you wish it was enacted sooner?
No, it's safe storage. I think the biggest thing for safe storage is it provides clarity. I think the safe storage, we wouldn't have been able to charge much more than we have right now. It still probably would have been a misdemeanor charge under the new safe storage legislation. But just like in the past where we had you place a kid in a vehicle in a dangerous situation, we have that's a separate charge from the child abuse. This just provides more clarity, I think, for everybody, whether it be law enforcement in terms of what charges we can file, and for, quite frankly, the public to know what behavior is tolerated and not tolerated.
Chief, can you just give us, is there any connection between this case and the Stockton Elementary case? Is there anything, at least in your mind?
Really, the only connection is that it was a little alarming that literally we had a press conference with a lot of faces in this room today on the 3rd of May, and then a week later, even though it got all that press coverage and all this discussion about how alarming it was that a 7-year-old was in possession of a semi-automatic handgun in a GRPS school, that just a week later, the exact same thing happened, and that one subsequently was a loaded handgun, even a more dangerous situation. So, just aside from the fact that I have about 23 years of police experience, and I will say this is the first time and now the second time that I've ever encountered a child that small having a gun in school was new to me, and to see it twice in 1 week period was very alarming. I don't think there's any connection between those two, but just the coincidence and how alarming it was that everyone knew, the week before, in this case, May 3rd, how outrageous it was that a 7-year-old would have a gun, and then to see an 8-year-old walk into school with a loaded gun shortly thereafter was astounding to me.
Do you think it's important that the parents be held responsible? I mean, as you just said, that kids are becoming younger and younger getting their hands on these guns.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it sends a message that parents will be held accountable. We're talking about victims here. The 7-year-old victim and an 8-year-old victim, especially in the case of an 8-year-old. That was a semi-automatic handgun that was fully loaded with a round in the chamber. So if that gun was manipulated, even through the bag, it could have gone off and killed a child. And the result of that is the result of decisions an adult made. So holding those parents accountable, letting parents know that they have a responsibility. If you are going to possess a gun, in this case it wasn't even a legally possessed gun, but if you're going to possess a gun, you have to be a responsible gun owner. So I think it is very important to hold parents accountable.
I think, if I could add, it goes beyond parents. I mean, this is any adult that has access to a firearm that's going to put them in a situation where kids have access to it. So it's not, we can't just focus on parents. I think we need to focus on anybody who has a gun and they may have kids in their house, just visiting even. That's the message I think we want to set. It covers all adults.
And just so I'm understanding correctly, are all the charges misdemeanor charges, or has there been a felony charge?
No, the felon possession is a felony charge. It's a
So
5-year.
So one of these people, one of these adults with a stolen gun was a felon, also in possession?
This felon possession, that's what the charge is, a felon in possession of a firearm, correct.
And Prosecutor Becker, you mentioned that the felony charges, you mentioned that the gun was placed in a position where it was accessible to the child. Does that mean it was placed like in the backpack, or was?
Nope, I can't get into the facts that much. That's just, it just gives a place where a child has access to it, and I'll leave it at that.
Can you state the ages of the 2 defendants and where they are from?
Boy, I don't have the ages right off the top of my head, so sorry.
Have they been arraigned?
As far as I know, they have not. But I could be wrong. I don't. We don't get involved in arraignments. So.
Are you considering juvenile charges for either of these two?
No, we can't. Under Michigan law, a juvenile is presumed incompetent under 10 years of age. So both these kids are under 10 years of age. So there's no way we could even file charges if for some reason we wanted to. And we're not looking, like as the chief said, this is more adult decisions, and kids are going to do stupid things, and especially when they're this age. So there's no charges for them.
Chief, I guess to that point, did you speak to the children? Do you get a sense of their intent? Did they just see something shiny and bring it to school?
We didn't, in either case, did we think that there was any threat, that there was any, I mean, kids, at one point in time, I was a 7 and 8-year-old boy, and I'll tell you, if I had access to a firearm, I would have been interested in it. I would have been interested to hold it, to see it. And as a gun owner myself and having young kids, one of the most important things to do is as soon as they're of age that they could possibly hold a gun, I brought the gun out and I safely discussed the gun with them and, take away that mystique from it. But I think it was just kids being kids and an interest in it. No, there was no criminal intent at all.
Do you think that they were trying to show it off at school? What do you think the correlation
They-
was, instead of, just taking it out and looking at it?
Right, and we may never know the mindset. Some of that may come out in the criminal proceedings, but we probably won't ever know the true mindset of the 7 or 8-year-old. But as I said, I am confident there was no criminal intent at all.
Do you know if the child is still in their mother's custody?
I don't.
I do not know. Yeah.
Again, do you know where they are from? Are they a resident of Grand Rapids or which city?
Obviously, they reside in Grand Rapids. That's why we have. But in terms of where they're originally, I don't know that.
Can you give us any kind of update on the investigation into the Stockton Elementary case? You said that there might be charges there. One, can you give us an update on that? And two, have you traced back that firearm? Was that legally owned?
So I can't get into the details of that at this time, other than it is very much an ongoing investigation. I spoke to the detective. One of our top detectives is investigating it. Very sharp guy, and he's assured me that we'll have this wrapped up soon and forwarded to the prosecutor for review.
Anything else?
Will your, sorry,
That's
just for
fine.
housekeeping, will your office be putting out like a release on this information? Just so we can have like the names and spelling?
Yes.
Sure, yeah, I mean, we can do that, but yeah, that's, we kind of did this, but yeah, if we need a full release, I can do something, or you can do something, appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Who's in charge of?
With one mom and fiance.